Yeah, Give Yourself a Hand actually turned into the title track. I thought it was kind of a cheeky title for the record, and that worked out nicely. But when I wrote the song, it was another one of these things, and this happened quite often on this record, where I'd sit down at the computer and just start typing. And I wrote a line that had to do with a hand, something about spanking or something perverse, and I just kept going with the idea of hand, and it started rhyming hand with hand, and it all just came together based around this kind of hand imagery, and really, I didn't even know what I was doing at the time, and when I woke up the next day and looked at it, it all fallen into place of its own accord, and there I was, happy as a clown. Now, Cigarette Is All You Get, actually that song is one of the first songs that I co-wrote when I was working with Greg Wells, our producer, with whom I did much co-writing on this album. And I didn't really know how to co-write at that point. I mean, I'd done some, but it always seemed like a strange prospect to me. And so I came in with these lyrics, and when I'd written the lyrics, I'd gotten some verses, and I got some choruses, and I had actually had a melody for the chorus, and I sang it to Greg. I was like, I keep hearing it, a cigarette, and it was this little falsetto thing. And he was like, oh, remember that melody, because that sounds good. And then he just turned to his keyboard and he started playing. He started playing something completely unrelated, and I was just like, what are you doing? And he said, I'm building a track. And I thought, you can't write a song like that. You can't just start playing and then, expect it to all come together. Anyways, he built this very funky-sounding track, and I started singing the verses over it. And instantly, all that material that I'd written lyrically seemed like a melody came together with it. And all of a sudden I knew what to sing, and immediately put the vocal down. And my faith in the idea of collaboration was restored, and it was uphill from there. Or down, it was clear sailing from there, shall we say. Well, this record was made in the studio, and is a combination of playing live and machines. And when you actually go to do a live show, playing along with machines is no fun. It's one thing in the studio to do that. You can control it, and it's actually fun. You can achieve things that you wouldn't achieve with people. I like the flexibility in that. But playing along to a sequencer live, you're just a slave to it, and if something goes wrong, then everything comes to a grinding halt. Whereas with people, they can pick up the slack. If someone falls over, they can stand up again and get back to business. It's not like a computer crashing or something. So we'll have to completely reinterpret the music for the live show, and it'll be different from the record. We'll custom build a drum kit for Mitch that reflects the kinds of drum sounds that we employed. We'll hire a couple of extra side people. We're going to have a keyboard player, an extra guitar player to really round out the sound. And for the first time for me, in some songs, I'll actually be singing without a guitar, so I'll put the mic in my hand and be Frank Sinatra for a while. So it should be fun. I'm looking forward to it. The record cover came together in an interesting way this time. I went through an awful lot of ideas with an awful lot of people, and it literally months passed, and just couldn't seem to come up with anything. And then one day, I had, in the meantime, moved from London to New York, and one day my stuff finally arrived. And amongst my stuff was this doll my girlfriend bought. It's an antique doll. It's this hideously weird-looking thing, and she bought it because she's a bit perverted as I am. And it really is a sick, frightening-looking thing. It's got a porcelain head and this weird body, and it's kind of dirty, and the paint's flaking off, and it has no hair. I looked at it and I just thought, actually I can't take credit. My girlfriend looked at it and said, that could make a pretty good record cover. And so I took it over to a friend of mine's place, and he photographed it for me, and boom, there it was. And after all that, it was just a question of, sitting around and looking at what's right on your shelf, right in front of your nose, and there it happened. As far as the video goes, we're going with a concept that a fellow named Clark Eddy wrote. I thought it was quite an interesting concept. And, usually in videos, I'm just some schmuck doing a lip sync, and then there's some action going on. So the videos are a no-brainer for me. But this time, I'm actually going to be acting. I'm featured, as it were. I've got this contact lens going, as you can see. and it's got a little spiral on it, and they're going to zoom into my eye and go into my brain, and at that point you see the little guy who's controlling me. Acting is stretching the word, because it's not going to be quite that challenging. You could really call it acting, but I'll be doing stuff. I come out of my own skull, and I have a jetpack on, and I kind of descend into space. You go inside my head, and there's a little me inside my own head. So I'm actually playing two characters. I'm a big, stupid me lumbering around, and then I'm a little tiny me in my brain steering myself.